So good evening everyone. How are you doing? कैसे हैं आप सब? I hope everyone is doing safe, doing good. Yash Tugar, founder of Wealth Research and Educare. I welcome you all to today's webinar. So my voice is audible to everyone. Am I clear? Just show a quick yes so that it's perfect, so that I can get a confirmation. Perfect, great. So once again, thank you so much everyone for joining. Again, we had a great response today. In fact, 5 minutes before 9, we had full on Zoom. So thank you all for the great participation. Those who could not join on Zoom, please showcase us on Facebook Live, because today it will be great learning, some great wisdom sharing, knowledge sharing will be there by the speakers. Before starting, I'll just like to update a lot of people who were asking us to use GeoMeet and other mediums. So definitely from August, we have been using GeoMeet for our small meet. Definitely we are exploring it because it's a new thing. So from August, we'll definitely conduct all our meetings through GeoMeet. That is our goal. Once all the softwares and everything is tested and the screen sharing is done and dusted. And secondly, of course, from August, a lot of people were requested that Facebook Live ke badal YouTube Live we should go, as we are live on YouTube. So definitely we'll be going on YouTube Live as well, so that everyone who was missing the opportunity should gain there. Okay. So without wasting much more time, I'd like to introduce today's speaker with you all, who does not need much introduction, but still I like to give a very small introduction of him. Mr. Akshay Chinchalkar is today's speaker. He's he's a master in finance and political science from London School of Economics. He has been a CMT Chartered Market Technician holder, and he's also on the global board of CMT, which is a very proud thing for all of us. And he's heading also CMT. Maybe in India, he is contributing a lot to the technical community. And of course, he's been there for Bloomberg FT for the last 11 years. He has been giving his services as the managing the technical analysis and quants part, which is very important. And we all know how Bloomberg, what are the features which Bloomberg gives. Definitely, we have a surprise also today for you all, which you'll be seeing. So please stay till the last and of course enjoy it. So Akshayji, are you there? I'll just unmute you.
Yes, Yash, are you able to hear me now?
Yeah, I'm able to hear you. Welcome, a warm welcome to today's webinar.
Thank you, Yash. And this is my first 9 p.m. webinar. And I have to thank I have to thank Yash Kriel for giving me this opportunity, and a big thank you to everyone on this call. It's not easy to dial in at 9 p.m. on a Sunday. That's my daughter. Just excuse her.
Hello.
So you can't come into this room. So hopefully there is enough data that I will be able to relay to you that should keep you interested for the next hour and a half. But I can't thank you enough, Yash. I can't thank all of the people who've dialed in. It's a great thing to be speaking to all of you.
Perfect. It's our privilege, sir, to have you, definitely. Though actually Akshay has told me not to use the word sir, so I'll be using Akshay. That will be perfect.
Thank you.
So Akshay, just get us through your journey, मतलब in a very candid way, so that we can understand कैसे आपने stock market journey start की, and how did you go ahead to Bloomberg, to CMT and the other things, so that we can get inspired, and a lot of viewers can get inspired to join stock markets and do CMT and do the same journey as you have been.
Sure. So Yash, I would like to start by saying that you're 23. When I was your age, मुझे तो पता भी नहीं था कि लाइफ में क्या करना है. तुम तो 23 में काफी कुछ हासिल कर पाए हो. So congratulations on that. But so my journey actually began when I was 23. That's when I decided to pursue an MBA, because at the turn of the century, doing an MBA was the big thing, right? पहले ज़माना था, parents बोलते थे, हमारा बेटा इंजीनियर बनेगा, हमारा बेटा डॉक्टर बनेगा. तो 2009 लेट 90s से लेकर अर्ली 2000s का जो पीरियड था, उसमें हर पेरेंट की जुबान पे एक ही बात थी कि हमारा बेटा जो है एमबीए करेगा. और तो मेरे पेरेंट्स की भी वो इच्छा थी, तो हमने सोचा चलो एमबीए कर लेते हैं. सो आई started doing my masters at Sydenham in Mumbai, जहाँ से ऋतिक रोशन भी पढ़े हैं. पता नहीं उन्होंने कितना पढ़ा, बट डांस तो डेफिनेटली उन्होंने किया कैंपस में, जिसकी वजह से वो आज इतने प्रख्यात डांसर है. So that MBA focused a lot on the world of equities. तो वहाँ से वो exposure शुरू हुआ. So 2002 में I started my classes. 2004 I graduated, and somewhere in 2004 I also had this desire to go overseas for further education, because I was getting interested in derivatives. I was getting interested in the world of finance in general, and I thought कि जितना MBA में पढ़ाई की है वो कहीं पूरा एक्सपोजर मुझे मिला नहीं है, तो और भी कुछ चीजें हैं जो बाकी रह गई हैं जो मुझे इंटरेस्ट करती थी उस जमाने में. So then what happened is that in 2005 I applied to the London School of Economics. वहाँ पे प्रोसेस ऐसा होता है कि आपको 2 कोर्सेज के लिए खुद को नॉमिनेट करना पड़ता है. उसके बाद आप अपना पेपर वर्क जो है वो भेजते हो, एंड देन द एडमिशंस कमिटी विल डिसाइड कि आपके एकेडमिक बैकग्राउंड के हिसाब से आपको किस कोर्स के लिए एडमिशन मिल सकता है. So I had applied for 2 courses. I distinctly remember one was the MSc in accounting and finance, which was my second choice. But my original choice was finance and economics, because LSE का जो finance and economics course था और शायद आज भी है, that is the most popular course that the University of London offers. तो अगर आप finance और economics में career बनाना चाहते हो, then the LSE is the place to be if you are thinking of an education in Europe.
Okay.
तो मुझे डेस्परेटली फाइनेंस एंड इकोनॉमिक्स चाहिए था, बट द प्रॉब्लम विद दैट वाज दैट इकोनॉमिक्स में मेरा उतना कुछ बैकग्राउंड नहीं था. आई हैड अ लॉट ऑफ stuff that I'd done in my MBA in the world of finance, but economics का exposure बहुत कम था, which is why obviously that application got rejected. And they said, given that in your BCom you've done a lot of work on accounting, we will actually if you are interested to pursue this, we will actually put you into the finance and accounting course. और एक चीज जो मैं दिलो जान से हेट करता हूँ वो है अकाउंटिंग. ना मुझे 20 साल पहले समझ में आया था, ना मुझे आज समझ में आ रहा है. So but अब एक ही मौका था, so I had to bite the bullet और LSE जाने का. So I consented for the second option that they gave me. But as life would have it, it became a situation where I wasn't able to arrange the funds required, because the LSE is a very, very expensive school. 9 महीनों के कोर्स के लिए in 2006 the fee was around 25 lakhs, and it was a big sum. It was a big sum back then. I think it continues to be a very big sum for most people. And because I wasn't able to arrange the funding in time, आपको तो पता है कि बैंक collateral पूछता है, कुछ hard assets पूछता है, वो सब था नहीं. So despite having a letter of admission, मैं जा नहीं सका. But I reapplied in the second year. Obviously, I didn't have to take the GMAT क्योंकि previous year में मैं वैसे भी GMAT दे चुका था. And that gave me some time to arrange the funds. जिसके बाद I went to the LSE, did my course, came back in 9 months, and I realized कि जो exposure वहाँ पे मिला, now I'm kind of set to actually get into hardcore finance. तो शुरुआत वहाँ से हुई basically.
Great. So that's a perfect introduction of yours. मतलब कैसे आपने LSE के लिए you had to struggle. आपने MBA किया पहले मुंबई से, and then you of course went to LSE and did your masters. So let us go through the journey from LSE to Bloomberg and Bloomberg till now, because Bloomberg is something which is a word. If I speak about that also, like लोगों को fascination लगता है, like Bloomberg is something which is a great software and finance. When I entered the stock market, I was 19 4 years back. Bloomberg was something which was like, because I had access to it once in my lifetime. So मुझे बहुत fascination था, इसमें काफी सारे chart थे, सब कुछ है. So how was your journey? How did you get into Bloomberg, and how was your first day? Because first day is a very पूरा जिंदगी भर याद रहता है in such a big company. So how did you go through it, and of course journey till now? That will be like very fascinating for all of us to hear it.
Sure. So I came back from London, and I started working with the same company that I used to work for before I went to London. They were happy to hire me, and I was happier because they were paying me a higher salary. So I had no complaints. And then the owner of the firm, so that firm was B&K Securities, and I will thank them for making it possible to get to where I am today. So they hired me back, and the owner of the firm said, look Akshay, I mean, futures and options are becoming a big deal in our markets now. And given that you've spent a lot of time studying derivatives at the LSE, I think you should really start managing my money. So there were three people essentially in the team. So we were managing prop money. One was the head of the department who used to report directly to my boss. So he was responsible for punching in trades for my boss. Okay, and that included trades in the cash market and the derivatives market. Then there was one dealer who was supposed to execute. And there were two, it was actually a 4-member team. There was one person who was a technical analyst, and I didn't know कि technical analysis hota kya hai, because academia mein, aur this continues to be the case today, although it's changing. Academia mein aaj bhi technical analysis pe focus zyada hai nahi. It's changing, absolutely. But 13-14 साल पहले तो बिल्कुल नहीं था. So academia का view ये था कि technical analysis यानी सट्टेबाजी, कि चार्ट खोलो और बताओ कि आज शाम तक क्या होगा या कल सुबह तक क्या होगा मैक्सिमम, ऐसा ओपिनियन था. बट लाइक आई सेड बिफोर, दैट्स चेंजिंग स्लोली, व्हिच इज गुड. तो सो देयर वाज अ टेक्निकल एनालिस्ट, और चौथा बंदा था मैं, जो एकेडेमिया से काफी अपने फंडे लेके आया है, तो डेरिवेटिव्स रिसर्च का मुझे रोल मिला था. सो अ कपल ऑफ मंथ्स पास्ड, और यू नो आई कुड सी द टेक्निकल एनालिस्ट टेल माय बॉस कि सर यहाँ पे सपोर्ट है, यहाँ पे रेजिस्टेंस है. And I always used to wonder, क्योंकि मैं हमेशा कैश फ्लो स्टेटमेंट देखता रहता था, मैं कुछ ऑप्शंस की किताबें पढ़ता था, तो मैं हमेशा सोचता था कि यार ये क्या टर्मिनोलॉजी यूज कर रहे हैं. और उस टाइम पे इतना आज तुम देख लो, अगर यूट्यूब पे जाओगे तो इतने सारे बंदों के चैनल्स हैं, आप सब्सक्राइब कर सकते हो, नई नई चीजें सीख सकते हो. उस टाइम पे उतना कुछ ज्यादा था नहीं, बस शुरुआत हो रही है. So there was very little material for me to do self learning on my own. So I distinctly remember this one conversation. मैं उस टेक्निकल एनालिस्ट के पास एक दिन गया. इट वाज वी वर इन द ऑफिस अंटिल लेट, शायद बहुत बारिश हो रही थी, आई डोंट नो व्हाट वाज हैपनिंग, बट आई वाज इन द ऑफिस लेट. सो वो बंदा भी वहां पे बैठा हुआ था. तो आई जस्ट आस्क्ड हिम कि यार ये तुम जो करते रहते हो, कुछ लाइंस बनाते रहते हो चार्ट पे, फिर हेड ऑफ द डेस्क को कहते रहते हो कि यार यहाँ पे खरीदना चाहिए, सपोर्ट अच्छा है, यहाँ पे बेचना चाहिए, रेजिस्टेंस अच्छा है, ये क्या है, क्या फंडा क्या है? सो ही सेड, देख भाई, तू ये जो चीज है, ये हाईली एजुकेटेड पीपल, तेरे जैसे जो लोग हैं उनके लिए नहीं है. तुम अपने फंडे लेके आए हो, लाखों रुपया खर्चा करके पढ़ के आए हो, तो तुम जो है अपने किताबों में डूबे रहो. एंड आई कैन टेल यू दिस, आई मीन something that is never going to change is when you are told by someone that you cannot do something, that can become the biggest motivation for you to prove that person wrong.
Absolutely, and I totally agree with it.
So I was taken aback when he said this. I mean, he was an approachable guy otherwise, but when I actually went and spoke to him about the stuff that he was doing and expressed a desire to learn from him, he said, this is not something that you should really get into. And that fueled the desire in me to kind of learn come what may. तो मैंने सोच लिया कि अब ये जो है ये मुझे खुद ही करना पड़ेगा, और वहां से वो शुरुआत हुई. And that journey continues to this day. But now speaking of Bloomberg, right? उसके बाद I mean, my boss moved to another firm, and he took me with him. So that was a firm where we were doing a lot of FX advisory. So we were actually advising corporates, mid-sized corporates and small-sized corporates on how to hedge their foreign currency exposure. So तुमको पता होगा, and I'm sure everyone in the audience knows this as well, कि foreign exchange markets में technical analysis is considered very godlike because the volumes are huge. And you cannot take longer-term views based on fundamentals and macroeconomics. They have to be, I mean, because the position sizes can be really huge, and because there is so much, the foreign exchange market, if we look at it today, clocks about $5.5 trillion of volumes every single day. That is how large the foreign exchange market is. और जहाँ पे short term और tactical trading की बात आती है, जहाँ पे position sizes इतने बड़े होते हैं, वहां पे तुम फंडामेंटल्स या 1 महीने का व्यू या 3 महीने का व्यू या 12 महीने का व्यू ये सब नहीं ले सकते. So technical analysis in the commodity derivative markets and the FX markets is something that's godlike. तो उस फर्म में I was doing technical analysis day in and day out, and my boss is also an out and out technician, तो उनका काफी guidance था. So one day what happened is that my Bloomberg account rep came to the office. He was a Indian born Japanese resident. So his dad used to be a big speculator in the Japanese yen. And it was the first time that I was meeting him. तो ऐसे yen के बारे में बात हुई, and I gave him my chart based views on the dollar yen. And he told me that तुम्हारे जो views हैं अक्षय, these are completely different from what everybody else is saying about the yen. तो मैंने बोला देखो यार, मैं तो पोस्टमैन की तरह हूँ. अगर आपको एक चिट्ठी आई है और उस चिट्ठी में अगर बैड न्यूज है तो पोस्टमैन उसकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं ले सकता. वो सिर्फ आपको मैसेज चिट्ठी पहुंचा रहा है. तो मेरा काम है तुमको बताना कि चार्ट क्या कह रहा है और मेरी रीडिंग ये कहती है. So then he said, "चलो ठीक है." And then roughly about a couple of months back, couple of months later, we kind of connected again, and he said, "अक्षय, तुम्हारा येन का व्यू तो बहुत बढ़िया चल गया यार. तुम यहाँ पे क्या कर रहे हो?" तो मैंने बोला यहाँ पे तो यार मैं कॉर्पोरेट्स को एडवाइस कर रहा हूँ. तो वो बोला कि देखो यार, ब्लूमबर्ग मुंबई में एक टेक्निकल एनालिस्ट की बहुत डेस्परेट हमको जरूरत है. बिकॉज अभी जो टेक्निकल एनालिसिस कवर कर रहा है मुंबई ऑफिस के लिए, उसको सिंगापुर से ट्रैवल करना पड़ता है हर 3 महीने में. और वो सिंगापुर का बंदा है. और यहाँ पे nothing against Singaporeans, but their dialect is very different from how we speak. So clients were finding it very difficult to understand, what he was saying over and over again. So they were really looking forward to hiring a technical analyst, and that's how I got into Bloomberg. They were desperate. I was willing to move, given the higher salary. So it just became the perfect storm, so to say. So that's how the move to Bloomberg happened.
Okay, great. I think that's a great story, and that's that's a great inspiration for people as you told, that if someone challenges you that you cannot do it, तो वो हम लोग को और ज़्यादा motivation देता है to do something. I totally believe on that. And like today, your story I think has given one motivation to a lot of people who can definitely do it even without if you do have zero knowledge also, because as you told, you have zero knowledge of technicals, and now you are heading Bloomberg in terms of technicals. So that's a really big inspiration for all of us. So before we definitely I give you the floor, just one thing I like to ask you regarding a lot of youngsters are entering the market right now. A lot of people who were not there in the market before COVID are there in the market right now. So as a youngster, of course, what would be your advice to them? And tell us one failure regarding in the market, because when we enter the market, एक failure तो सबके पास होता ही है. Like अभी तक जितने speakers को मैंने बुलाया interview किया है, everyone had it. तो वो बहुत जानना जरूरी है, because a lot of learnings are there from that. So just get us through that. It will be great.
Yeah, I'll talk you through my own experience, and I think this continues to be the case even today. Look, when you get into the markets, and this is how we learn our lessons. When you get into the markets, you're excited about trading. You can see that your neighbor is making money. शायद वो चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट है, स्टॉक मार्केट्स के बारे में कुछ नहीं जानता, फिर भी पैसे बना रहा है. हर महीने नया फोन ले लेता है, नया टीवी आता है. That when you see that happening to people in your network, the motivation to get in, the excitement factor, the adrenaline rush is very high. And what really happens with most youngsters is this excitement factor is too strong for you to back off from it and understand the risks that you're really getting into. So one of the things I learned myself is when you get into trading, and of course, I mean, this happens over many years of experience, many learnings, unlearnings. But when you get into trading, and I don't know how many times this has happened to you, Yash, or people on this call, but the first trade that you punch in, the first trade more often than not will make you money. It's not a question of whether it makes you 500 rupees or 10,000 rupees, it will make you some money. And that becomes, strong enough motivation for the next trade where you probably increase your size. And then
I
you
think
say,
it
and the
happens
second,
with most of the audience.
correct. It may not happen with everyone, because it's more of a tendency. It's not a rule, but it happens to most people, if not all. And then the first trade makes you money, and you're excited. I mean, now you don't have to wait for your salary to get your brand new phone. You can go and buy it right away, and that's a good thing, right? It's a good start. It gives you a good feeling. And then the second trade actually makes you more money. And what you've done is you've probably bought more than you bought on your first trade, and it's made you more money. So the first 3 or 4 trades will actually, suck you into the market with the message that this is really easy. You don't have to have any background. You could be a musician, and your neighbor was a trader, and he's consistently making money, in the markets day in and day out. So you realize, oh wow, he's he's making so much money. Why can't I? And somebody's told me that trading requires no background, which is the truth. So you're a musician, you get into it, 4 trades making so much money, and on the 5th trade you bet your house, thinking now I've arrived at the scene, and I can deal with this kind of volatility. It is easy, and I have definitely found myself a secondary source of income. That is when everything starts unraveling. And a lot of people then start doing a lot of revenge trading. Now, what is revenge trading? कि यार 4 trades जो मैंने किए, पैसा बनाने में काफी मेहनत लगी, काफी मुझे देखना पड़ा, चलो 4 बार बन गए, 5वीं बार एक ही झटके में सब कुछ उड़ गया, अब मैं मार्केट को दिखाता हूं कि मैं क्या चीज हूं. And the moment you start doing that, it is the end of your story.
Absolutely.
So for every youngster, if someone makes you a proposal that says, here is something, use it the way you want, it's going to make you money, please be circumspect about what is being offered to you, because there is no holy grail in the world. And making money, although it seems very easy in the business of trading, is extremely difficult. It's more psychological. But again, like I said, this will come from experience. But I cannot tell you, and somebody's said this in the chat, beginner's luck is a very, very, very difficult emotion to run away from. It's very, very difficult. So understand the risks. आजकल तो Telegram channels और YouTube channels और WhatsApp पे इतने groups बन गए हैं. I mean, understand this. Nobody is in this business to help you make money. You have to do your own research.
Absolutely. 100% I believe on that.
Good.
Great. इतना मजा आ रहा है मुझे सब सुन के, because I think I also have that same belief and same ethics जो आप बोल रहे हो, that definitely you should have your own knowledge, own research, and that is why we bring people like you on our platform, so that people can learn and they can become their self-dependent traders.
Yeah, I always use this analogy, Yash. How many years of struggle and toil and training it requires to climb Mount Everest. Everyone knows this. I can get you the best climber, who's probably conquered Mount Everest 200 times, just a random number. But simply by listening to his motivational talk, you will not become the next best climber. You have to put in 15 years of your own effort.
Absolutely.
Right. So in the world of trading, if you want to make money and consistently, question everything that you see and hear. Don't accept things on face value.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's some great learning, some great wisdom sharing by Akshay Bhaiya. So of course that we are like enjoying a lot. So guys, now let's open up the surprise. Let's open up the surprise for you all. Of course, what had requested Akshay Bhaiya, that we all wanted to. I also wanted to see Bloomberg live, and I requested him to just show us, just take a journey through it, like how does the Bloomberg software look, and what are some of the unique features, why it's priced such higher, and maybe why do a lot of people, a lot of traders all around the world use it. So guys, are you excited to see the Bloomberg software live, how it's used and how it looks? Because of course, a lot of people would have that fascination to see Bloomberg live. So here it is. So I'll request Akshay Bhaiya to do it for us.
Yeah. So the way I'm going to do it, Yash, is I will obviously use the Bloomberg terminal, show you what I kind of use on the terminal. And I'm a Bloomberg veteran, having spent 12 years at Bloomberg. I've kind of understood the inner details of the Bloomberg system like no other. So I'd be happy to share that with you. But I will do that at the very end. Warna abhi jo 100 hai, wo 50 ho jayenge. Okay. So if you
no, perfect. Perfect. Not
so Yash, thank you so much for that. It's my pleasure to kind of run you through what the Bloomberg terminal has to offer. But let's get straight into the presentation for now, and I'll share with you a few things that I have learned along the way. And hopefully you'll be able to take some things away from this. So, Yash, मुझे बता देना एक बार the presentation starts coming through.
Sure. The floor is all yours. So I think now the people will definitely wait till the last. You have created such a great.
Yes, I know that trick always works. That trick always works.
Great, 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 great. So great. The floor is all yours. You can start the present because today I think I'll also learn a lot of things because of your experience, the way you'll be sharing it. So guys, please be there till the last, and it will be lots of learning from Akshay ji.
Excellent. Are you able to see this disclaimer?
Yeah, we are able to see that.
Okay, so let me just move this Zoom window to the bottom left where it doesn't interfere with the screen. I have now moved one slide forward where it says indicator less price action trading. Are you guys able to see this?
I think I'm able to see this. I think everyone is able to see that, right?
Yeah. Can you just tell me what the interaction is on the chat, Yash?
Yeah.
Everyone can see this?
Yes. Yeah. Everyone is able to see that.
Okay, good. So we are good to start. Essentially, there are three parts here. First, I'm going to talk about certain, price patterns, and I'm not going to use any indicators. We're just going to focus on certain price patterns which you might have heard of, but in my several presentations where I have discussed the same price patterns, most people haven't heard of them. So I will go with the assumption that not most of you would have heard of the kind of stuff that I'm going to show you. So that's part one. In part two, we're going to go over the RSI and we will understand how whatever we currently know about the RSI is wrong, and we will learn how the RSI should actually be used to consistently generate alpha. And finally, I'm going to run you through a few Bloomberg analytics that professional traders use to kind of differentiate between what is a bull market and what is a bear market. So that's going to be part three.
Perfect. I think it sounds perfect. We are really excited to hear that.
Good. Thank you, Yash. Let's get started. So look, I've got some short names here, as you can see: CL, CS, AL, AS, MSL, MSH. These are all acronyms of the patterns that I'm going to show you, and I'll explain every single pattern here in a very, very basic manner, a manner that becomes very, very easy for you to comprehend and understand. So let's go straight into it. Okay, so CL essentially stands for conservative 3-bar long. मैं ये अज्यूम करूंगा कि आप जो ऑडियंस है वो कैंडल चार्ट्स और बार चार्ट्स दोनों से वाकिफ है. So most of my charts use bars. I don't think I have a single candlestick chart, but as long as you understand the concept of OHLC, you should be fine. So here is how this pattern looks. The previous trend should be down. That is what this means. So I'm seeing a series of lower highs and lower lows, the classic definition of a downtrend. Then what I wait for is these 3 bars which have to adhere to certain rules and guidelines. वो rules and guidelines क्या हैं? You can see them on the screen. So let me go bar by bar. So look at bar 1. Bar 1 का जो close है, it should be less than the open. And that is pretty obvious. It is not surprising to see a bullish, it is not surprising to see a bearish candle or a bearish bar in a downtrend. So the first bar has to be bearish. Okay. This is a rule. It is not a guideline. What I mean by that is it is necessary for the close of bar 1 to be less than the open of bar 1. Okay. So it's a rule, not a guideline. Bar 2 should have a lower low when compared to bar 1. And the lower high when compared to bar 1. Again, rule number 2 is a rule. It is not a guideline. The second bar has to have a lower high and the lower low as compared to bar 1. Now, another thing about bar 2, but this time it's a guideline. Bar 2 का जो close है वो open के नीचे भी हो सकता है या open के ऊपर भी हो सकता है. वो matter नहीं करता. So the open close relationship of bar 2 can either be bullish or bearish. It doesn't matter. But for bar 1, if you just cycle back 1 bar, for bar 1, the close has to be under the open, which means bar 1 has to be a bearish bar. I said for bar 2, the open close relationship does not matter. But if bar 2 is a down bar, then it is better. Why? Because previous trend क्या है? Previous trend तो down trend है. पहला बार जो है वो bearish है. अगर सेकेंड बार भी बेरिश बनता है तो इसका मतलब यह है कि the majority of market participants do not expect the market to reverse at all, which means they are confident about holding on to their short positions. Okay, let us move on to the next rule. This is a rule, and that rule is the close of bar 3, and ye bar 4 nahi ban sakta. This can't be bar 5. Remember, it is a conservative 3 bar long, so these bars have to be continuous. They have to be consecutive. On bar 3, the close of that bar has to exceed the high of 1, not 2. Also, another thing jo maine wahan pe dala nahi hai, but I'll explain it, is that the low of 3 should be greater than the low of 2. So let me bring all the rules and the guidelines together, just so that you understand this. There has to be a downtrend, point number 1. Point number 2, bar 1 has to be bearish. Point number 3, the high of 2 should be less than the high of 1, and the low of 2 should be less than the low of 1. Bar 2 can either be bullish or bearish. If it is bearish, it is preferred. Why? Because like I said before, nobody expects the market to reverse from bearish to bullish. That means everyone is short. Point number 4, the close of 3 should exceed the high of 1. And point number 5, the low of 3 should be greater than the low of 2. If all of these conditions are met, then you have the necessary ingredients that will allow you to categorize this pattern as a conservative 3 bar long, which means all the bullish conditions are now in place, including the fact that nobody in the markets believes that the market can stop falling and start rising, which can become some sort of a fuel for rising prices. Therefore, what is the trading strategy? Simple. You go long at the close of bar 3. You keep a stop loss at the low of bar 2 or slightly below the low of bar 2. Why is the stop below the low of bar 2? Because bar 2 ka low is the lowest low in the pattern. Now, this particular strategy works on an intraday chart, a historical chart, it doesn't matter. So whether it's a 15-minute candlestick chart, hourly candlestick chart, daily, weekly, monthly, doesn't matter. The implications are that this should lead to a major bullish reversal. I want to pause here and ask everyone if you guys are able to follow me. If I'm coming through to you okay in terms of the audio, give me a shout. Is this clear to everyone?
Yeah, I think it's clear, like very clear. Everyone is messaging on the chat.
Okay, good. So we can move on. Now, guys, here are some examples because unless you see where the proof of the method is, there is no reason for you to believe it. So the chart on the left is a daily chart of the USD INR. वो जो histograms नीचे बने हैं, they are basically a Bloomberg signal that tells me कि वो pattern कहाँ पे बना है ताकि मुझे manually उसको ढूंढने की जरूरत ना पड़े. And the highlighted area actually shows you those 3 candles where this particular pattern got fired off, and you can see the kind of rally that it has resulted in. So the INR went from almost slightly above 68 all the way to above 72. It was a nice attempt to rally here, followed by a short decline, and then it went vertical. This happened in July of 2019. What you have on the right, and this should rekindle some memory of how volatile the market was during the first quarter of 2020. आप अगर notice करोगे, this is the Nifty, and you can see the plunge from 12,430, which is the high, all the way to 7511. The low was exactly the conservative 3 bar long. अब यहाँ पे I want to just make one very important point. जब ये पैटर्न बनता है ना, it actually occurs when nobody wants to think that the market will turn bullish, and pessimism and fear is at its highest level, which means the logic to be buying into a falling market is completely missing, which is why I say when fear is at its maximum, it is a great idea to buy. But the problem is, if you, आपको याद होगा, somewhere in early March, market ने पहला lower circuit मारा. And then जब circuit खुला, the market rallied very strongly. तो लोगों को लगा अब जो भी होना था हो चुका है, market का bottom बन चुका है. लेकिन क्या हुआ? अगले ही दिन वापस decline चालू हुई, and the market declined another almost 1,000 points. Before it made a low at 75.11. So yes, it is very easy to say कि जब fear maximum होता है buy करना चाहिए. But the important moral of the story is that do not buy unless there is a trigger. Let me say it again. The urge to become the first buyer is very, very enticing. But most people lose money not because they use inferior, systems. They lose money because they are too excited to be the first buyer. Therefore, what I have learned after losing money in several trades over, the so many years that I've traded, is that do not buy or sell unless there is a trigger. Do not buy or sell because your neighbor is buying and selling. If you see a trigger on your chart, only then do you enter the market. Otherwise, stay away. एक और चीज जो मैं कहना चाहूंगा, it is not necessary कि ये pattern एकदम bottom पे ही बने. It can occur at the bottom of a short-term pullback as well. So आप देखो, जब निफ्टी 5,000 पॉइंट गिर के जब रिकवर करना जब चालू कर गया, तो ये जो पैटर्न हमने जिसकी बात की, वो 3 बार ट्रिगर हुआ. सो पहले तो ऑल टाइम लोस पे ट्रिगर हुआ, ऑल टाइम लोस यानी जो 2020 के लोस थे उस पे ट्रिगर हुआ. उसके बाद थोड़ी रिकवरी आई, करेक्शन आया, वहां पे भी ट्रिगर हुआ. The fact that this same pattern was getting reignited within close proximity of the price action was telling you that the market has now decided to turn from bearish to bullish. और आज आप कहां हो? You almost went to 11,000 last week, right? So that is the conservative 3-bar long. Now let us move on to the opposite situation. हम ज्यादा टाइम इस पे स्पेंड नहीं करेंगे. Everything that you saw in the first slide is now turned upside down. So the prior trend has to be an uptrend, a very, very strong uptrend. किसी को नहीं लग रहा कि मार्केट गिरेगा. Bar 1 has to be bullish. Bar 2 has to make a higher high and a higher low. Bar 3 has to make a lower high when compared to the high of bar 2. और bar 3 का जो close है, वो bar 1 के low के नीचे होना चाहिए. It is a rule, not a guideline. And again, intraday charts, historical charts matter नहीं करते. This pattern has the same implications regardless of the candle size. So, this is Mahindra and Mahindra on the left. आप देखो टॉप बनने से पहले किस तरीके की रैली आई थी इसमें. तो huge rally, vertical rally. Nobody would have had the guts to short it. But यहाँ पे there is a conservative 3-bar short that has occurred. And it is always very important to look at the left and see कि वहां पे क्या हुआ है, previously क्या हुआ है. तो आप यहाँ पे देखो, when the market was rallying very hard, we got to this day where the market rallied hard during the session. But इस वाली कैंडल पे दो चीजें हुई. एक तो the candle turned bearish from bullish earlier in the day, and the other thing that happened is that इस कैंडल का जो upper shadow है ना, वो उसी कैंडल के lower shadow की कंपैरिजन में बहुत बड़ा है. So it's outsized. The upper shadow is outsized when compared to the size of the lower shadow. इसका मतलब क्या है यहाँ पे? इसका मतलब ये है कि इस वाले हाई पे buyers were not comfortable buying, but sellers were very comfortable selling. फिर मार्केट ने एक दिन का पुल बैक दिया, वापस ऊपर चला गया. Conservative sell signal वहां पे बना at previous resistance where there was diminishing buying interest and very, very high selling interest. So the fact that a conservative 3-bar short has occurred at an area where buyers have previously been rejected is another indication कि अब इसमें गड़बड़ हो सकती है. And you can see कि आपने कहाँ पे बेचा है इसको. So from 800, before the market decided to make a bottom and stage its biggest bounce, the market was down almost 25%, which is a big move. The same thing happened with Tata Motors. On the left, you can see a bit of a recovery. This candle is very bullish. Nobody thinks the market's going to fall. The next candle becomes a doji. and the third candle is bearish and it closes below the low of the first bullish candle where the second candle was a doji. Doji का मतलब क्या है? Indecision. Indecision का मतलब तीन चीजें हो सकती है, या तो वो अपट्रेंड पॉज कर लेगा और कुछ दिनों के बाद वापस अपट्रेंड रिज्यूम हो जाएगा, या फिर वहां पे और थोड़ा साइडवेज एक्शन होगा, काफी सारे दोजीज आते जाएंगे और उसके बाद मार्केट डिसाइड करेगा कि ऊपर जाना है कि नीचे जाना है. या फिर तीसरी चीज क्या हो सकती है? दैट डोजी which has currently shown indecision is likely to transition into some sort of a peak, some sort of a top. और वो कब बना? जैसे मैंने कहा, ट्रिगर बहुत जरूरी है. ट्रिगर कब आया? When the close of candle number 3 was less than the low of candle number 1. You have actually sold at the high of the entire rally, somewhere around 280. 280 का कहां आ गया मार्केट? 150. So remember, कोई भी पैटर्न हो, सिंपल हो, कॉम्प्लिकेटेड हो, कोई भी हो, दो चीजें हैं. Let there be a trigger, and secondly, always know where the pattern is going to fail. उसका मतलब क्या है? टाटा मोटर्स का एग्जांपल लेता हूं. The moment I sell, why do I sell? Because the close of candle number 3 is less than the low of candle number 1. मैंने बेच दिया है, बट ऐसा थोड़ी है कि मैंने बेच दिया है तो मार्केट को अभी नीचे जाना चाहिए. बहुत लोग समझते हैं कि ऐसा होना चाहिए, इसलिए पैसा गवाते हैं. So just because you have taken a position does not mean that the market has to move in the direction that you have taken a position in. What you have to therefore know is, जैसे ही मैंने यहाँ पे शॉर्ट किया, मेरा स्टॉप लॉस क्या है? सिंपल, आपका स्टॉप लॉस है डोजी का जो हाई है उसका थोड़ा या तो एग्जैक्टली वहां पे मत रखिए, क्योंकि सबको पता है कि डोजी इंडिसिजन हाईलाइट करता है. अगर आप वहीं पे स्टॉप रखोगे तो जाके वहां पे ट्रिगर करेगा, फिर घुसेगा. तो आप उसके थोड़ा ऊपर रखो. कोई अगर फिबोनाची नंबर उस डोजी के कैंडल के हाई के ऊपर अगर आ रहा है, वहां पे रख दो. सो you know, the good thing about all of these patterns that I'm going to show you is that every single time before even taking the trade, you will know कि आपका risk कहां है, which is the only way of not blowing up your account. Let's move on.
Absolutely.
So now that you understood the conservative 3-bar long and the conservative 3-bar short, let us look at the aggressive approach. Everything is the same, except that in the conservative 3-bar long, we said that the close of 3 has to be above the high of 1. In the aggressive 3-bar long, the only difference is that the close of 3 has to be greater than the high of 2. Iska benefit kya hai? Because I'm now using the high of bar 2 as my trigger, the difference between my entry price and the stop loss is a lot lesser when compared to the conservative 3-bar long. बस यही एक difference है और कोई difference नहीं. So let us look at some examples. तो लेफ्ट में है MCX गोल्ड का फर्स्ट मंथ फ्यूचर्स, कंटिन्यूअस फ्यूचर्स. आप देख सकते हो यहाँ पे वो अग्रेसिव 3-bar लॉन्ग बना है और उसके बाद द मार्केट वेंट फ्रॉम ऑलमोस्ट 41,000 ऑल द वे टू 47,000. On the right, I've got the Bank Nifty, which is a weekly chart. Again, you can see this is the aggressive 3-bar pattern, 3-candle pattern, whatever you might want to call it. Rules क्या है? पहला जो previous move जो है बहुत भयंकर डाउन ट्रेंड होना चाहिए, which means total disbelief in the fact that the market can actually rally. So there is total disbelief, a lot of fear, which is exactly the recipe for a bottom. So उसके बाद the market has you know, a 2-week bounce, but कोई दम नहीं है. Look at this candle. The first candle has to be bearish. The second candle has to have a lower high and a lower low. ये bullish है या bearish? Sorry, ये bullish है या bearish है matter नहीं करता. The third candle has to have a higher low when compared to the low of candle number 2, and the close of candle number 3 has to exceed the high of candle number 2. The moment you saw that, you bought at the close of candle number 3, the low of candle number 2 is the stop loss, and you went from almost 24,500 all the way to 31,000. It's a big move. So wait for triggers. I cannot stress on this enough. It's one of the most critical aspects of trading. Unless there is a trigger, you're only tossing a coin, और coin toss में 50% heads हो सकता है, 50% loss होता है, but उसको trading नहीं कहते. You have to have a trigger. Okay. Same funda for the aggressive 3-bar short. The only difference between the conservative 3-bar short and the aggressive 3-bar short is that in the case of the conservative 3-bar short, we are looking for a close below the low of candle number 1, bar number 1. In the aggressive version, you are simply looking for a close below the low of candle number 2. Everything else remains the same as before. So यार इसका मैं क्या कहूँ, एवरीबडी नोज कि ब्रेंट और ऑयल इन जनरल, नाइमेक्स इन पर्टिकुलर का क्या हाल हुआ, बिकॉज नाइमेक्स ऑल्सो वेंट नेगेटिव. ब्रेंट नेवर वेंट नेगेटिव बट नाइमेक्स डिड. आप देखो, एट द फर्स्ट स्टॉप देयर इज अ मैसिव रैली. और ये रैली क्यों आई थी? क्योंकि रूमर्स थे मार्केट में कि ओपेक जो है प्रोडक्शन कट करेगा. तो लॉजिकली, well, this should have been, incentive for bulls to push the market even higher. और उन्होंने मार्केट को ऊपर ले जाने की कोशिश भी की. बट यहाँ पे क्या बना? यहाँ पे aggressive 3-bar short बना. And you can see the kind of plunge that occurred. And mind you, जितने भी चार्ट्स मैंने अभी तक डिस्कस किए हैं, इन चार्ट्स में एक भी टेक्निकल इंडिकेटर नहीं है. Why? Because after doing technical analysis for 16 years, the one thing that I have understood really well, and something that I will never abandon for the rest of my trading life, is that the price is the ultimate indicator. Because सारे इंडिकेटर्स में इनपुट क्या होता है? प्राइस होता है. तो अगर आप प्राइस को अच्छी तरह से समझ पाए, फिर आपको इंडिकेटर्स की जरूरत ही नहीं है. नॉट टू से कि इंडिकेटर्स आर यूजलेस, बट मैंने बहुत सारे लोगों को देखा है कि वो 7-8 इंडिकेटर्स देखते हैं. अब उसमें से 3 बोलेंगे कुछ मत करो, 3 बोलेंगे बुलिश है बाय करो, 2 बोलेंगे बेरिश है सेल करो. तो आप क्या करोगे? आपने इतनी मेहनत की, 8 इंडिकेटर्स को समझा, बट अल्टीमेटली कितने पैसे कमाए, दैट इज व्हाट मैटर्स. एंड इफ प्राइस tells you a much better story in relation to the indicator, then might as well start understanding price more, spending time on understanding price in much more depth. And I can tell you from personal experience, once you start understanding price action, then 60% of the job is done. So anyways, यहाँ पे aggressive 3-bar short बना. ये weekly chart है. You can see the decline all the way from 86 to less than 50. It's a big drop. बहुत बड़ी रैली आई. क्या बना? This is another aggressive 3-bar short. और ये जो दूसरी कैंडल है, इसका आप अपर शैडो देखिए. During the week, the market rallied very hard, but towards the end of the week, क्या हुआ? The size of the upper shadow was almost 6 times the size of the lower shadow, which means the higher price that was seen during the week was rejected towards the end of the week. That is another sign कि market में अब गड़बड़ है. अगर गड़बड़ है तो अगली चीज मुझे क्या चाहिए? मुझे सिर्फ ट्रिगर चाहिए. और ये aggressive 3-bar short जो था, उसने मुझे ट्रिगर भी दे दिया, and that became the high point for that rally, which took the market all the way from the bottom, close to 50 to 77. It was a great short. उसके बाद तो पता ही है सबको क्या हुआ. उसके बाद कभी वो हाई दिखाई नहीं. एक्सिस बैंक. अब एक्सिस बैंक का भी यहां पे आप देख सकते हो, देयर इज अ 3-bar शॉर्ट. बट उसके पहले मैं आपको ये दिखाना चाहता हूं कि इस एरिया में प्रीवियसली क्या हुआ था. आप देखो, देयर इज सम सॉर्ट ऑफ अ बेरिश एनगल्फिंग हियर. there are a few dojis. There is another bearish engulfing here. फिर आप और थोड़ा नीचे आए, रिकवर कर गए, यहां पे वापस एक doji बन गया है. And then look at this pattern. This is some sort of a bearish candle, some sort of an evening star, but chalani. Again, the market tried to recover. Again, doji. Finally, what do I want? I want some sort of a trigger. So trigger तो वैसे भी यहाँ पे आ गया था, because the close of this bearish candle was less than this particular doji low. That means what? Market आगे जाके क्या करेगा ये किसी को पता नहीं है, भगवान को भी पता नहीं है. But मुझे ये पता है कि if this is the peak, then I can short and my stop loss is the high of candle number 2. क्या वो stop trigger हुआ? नहीं. उसके बाद क्या हुआ? 800 plus का almost 650. So to repeat this, and I've already done this several times over, but I do it again. Always wait for a trigger. One. Second, define where the market is going to prove you wrong even before you take the trade. अगर ये दो चीजें आपने कर ली, फिर क्या ब्लूमबर्ग और क्या स्पाइडर और क्या ट्रेडिंग व्यू, सब कुछ एक ही है. Okay? Excellent. The next two decks, I'm going to talk about this concept of market structure low and market structure high. I will go really slow here so that you understand this, but this is one of the most powerful patterns if you can find it. So let's deal with the easy part first, Yash and everybody else. The prior trend has to be very, very firmly down. And then look for a minimum of 4 candles or a minimum of 4 bars, where opening prices are not important, highs are not important, lows are not important. You only need to focus on the closing price. So let me walk you through this pattern. Now, rule number one, the close of 2 has to be less than the close of 1. 1 का open क्या था? 2 का open क्या था? बिल्कुल matter नहीं करता. The close of 2 should be less than the close of 1. The close of 3 should be less than the close of 2. However, the close of 4 should be greater than the close of 3. So this is the first higher close in this 4-bar pattern. The moment that happens, you tell yourself that the market is now looking for a trigger to reverse. But trigger अभी तक आया नहीं है. सिर्फ पैटर्न बना है, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि मार्केट अब रॉकेट हो जाएगा. वेट फॉर अ ट्रिगर. वो ट्रिगर कब आता है? आइडियली इट शुड कम ऑन बार 5. और कैसे आता है? द क्लोज ऑफ बार 5 शुड बी ग्रेटर देन, और वापस बोलता हूं, आई गो रियली स्लो. द क्लोज ऑफ बार 5 शुड बी ग्रेटर देन द हाई ऑफ द बार विद द हायर क्लोज. आप समझ गए? So these 4 bars represent the market structure low, but this is only the pattern. I need a trigger. That trigger should ideally come on bar 5, and it will appear when the close of bar 5 exceeds the high of the bar with the higher close. When this happens, there are 2 things that have happened. You've got the market structure low and you've got an entry trigger. Simple. एग्जैक्टली उसको रिवर्स करोगे तो बनता है मार्केट स्ट्रक्चर हाई. ओपन प्राइसेस की कोई जरूरत नहीं है, सिर्फ हम क्लोज पे फोकस करेंगे. सब कुछ उल्टा कर दो. प्रीवियस डाउन ट्रेंड जो है वो अप ट्रेंड है. इफ यू लुक एट द क्लोज ऑफ बार 2, इट हैज टू बी ग्रेटर देन द क्लोज ऑफ 1. 3 हैज टू बी ग्रेटर देन द क्लोज ऑफ 2, बट द क्लोज ऑफ 4 हैज टू बी लेस देन 3. पैटर्न के रिक्वायरमेंट्स बन चुके हैं. ट्रिगर कब बनेगा? आइडियली 5वें बार पे बनेगा when the close of bar 5 is less than the low of the bar with the lower close. ये सब कुछ मैंने वहां पे टेक्स्ट में डाला हुआ है. So even if you're not able to assimilate all of this on a Sunday evening, it's fine. But this is the exact opposite of what you saw in the previous slide. And I've got a couple of examples for you also. Left में है हिंदुस्तान लीवर डेली चार्ट. You can see there is a market structure low. So एक बार देख लेते हैं. So I'm going to compare these 2 candles. इस कैंडल का क्लोज इस कैंडल से नीचे है. वेरी गुड. नेक्स्ट कैंडल का क्लोज उसके पहले वाले कैंडल के क्लोज के नीचे है. वेरी गुड. बट चौथे कैंडल का क्लोज तीसरे कैंडल के ऊपर है. तो उसी कैंडल का हाई जो है ना वो ट्रिगर पॉइंट बन जाता है. फिर 5वें कैंडल को देखो. क्या 5वें कैंडल का क्लोज इस वाले हाई के ऊपर है? दैट इज द बॉटम. बस. दूसरी चीज, कैन इट वर्क 100% ऑफ द टाइम? क्या मैं आज 11 बजे ये डिसाइड कर लूं कि अब मैं रिटायरमेंट लूंगा? नहीं. It does not work 100% of the time, which is why every single strategy that I have discussed until now has a very, very definitive stop loss. इस केस में the stop loss will be the lowest point in the pattern, which is the low of candle number 3. Similarly, Hero Motors weekly chart हम देखते हैं. This is the market structure high. Let us think of this as candle number 1, candle number 2. तो candle number 2 का जो close है candle number 1 के close के ऊपर है. Very good. Candle number 3 का जो close है वो candle number 2 के close के ऊपर है. Very good. But candle 4 का जो close है वो candle 3 के close के नीचे है. The moment the 4th bar appears and the pattern is complete, उसके low से आप एक horizontal line draw कर लो. And the moment bar 5 closes below that line, your short signal has been triggered. Your stop loss is the highest high in the pattern. और इस केस में आप देखो हीरो मोटर्स का क्या हाल हुआ. 2800 से सीधा 2000 के नीचे. So that brings us to the end of part 1. अब यश मुझे बताओ टाइम क्या हो रहा है?
टाइम का एक्चुअली भैया I'll definitely, मतलब मैं अगर सच बोलूं तो मुझे पता ही नहीं चल रहा है. So we are ready to be there till 11 also. हालांकि 10 बज गए अभी, and I think we have still like around 90 participants there in Zoom, and we have more than 200 people watching us on Facebook because उनको इतना interesting लग रहा है. I think guys, are you finding it interesting? Because I am learning a lot, in fact, because ये सब चीजें मतलब काफी मैं I am using candlestick bar chart for so many years. बट मैंने ये सब चीज बहुत सारी चीज कभी डेफिनेटली नहीं देखा इस तरीके से. एंड द वे यू आर एक्सप्लेनिंग इट इतने सुपर्ब तरीके से, So I'm enjoying it thoroughly. I don't have words for that.
Thank you. Then, you'll find more interesting stuff in the next few slides. So I'll promise you that. Okay, good. So now we will come to my favorite indicator. If somebody puts a gun to my head and he says, Akshay, I know you're a price guy, but there is this one indicator you have to use. Gun to your head. Which is that indicator going to be? Without an iota of doubt, it is going to be the RSI. And that's because I know a few things about the RSI that have helped me a great deal in the past. And this is not rocket science. It's just about, मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ, rather than अभी देखो ट्रेडिंग व्यू पे भी अगर आप जाओगे, कोई भी टेक्निकल एनालिसिस सिस्टम आप पकड़ लो, 250 इंडिकेटर्स होंगे, कुछ केसेस में उससे भी ज्यादा होंगे. And then some softwares also provide you the capability to write your own code and build your own indicator. So there is no limit to the number of indicators that you can build. But मेरे experience में, if there are 2 or 3 indicators which cannot make you money, then the remaining 250 indicators also will not make you money. So what we have to do is we have to choose the indicator that suits our trading style, but make sure we end up doing a doctorate in the nuances of that indicator, in knowing that indicator. तो अगर आप मुझे कहोगे कि वो कौन से indicators हैं मैं use करता हूँ, so my primary tool of analysis is Elliott Waves, and I've spent years and years understanding it. So that's essentially a price, technique. But अगर indicators की बात करोगे, there are 3 things I use. One is the RSI, the other is Ichimoku, and the third is Bollinger Bands. इसके beyond मैं कुछ नहीं use कर सकता, मैं कुछ use करता भी नहीं. And I can assure you कि आप कोई भी technical analysis software use करते हो, ये 3 indicators आपको हर software में मिलेंगे ही मिलेंगे. So all that I'm going to show you from here on, प्लीज डोंट थिंक कि ये सिर्फ ब्लूमबर्ग पे दिखते हैं. अब इन्होंने काफी ज्ञान तो दे दिया है, बट मेरे पास तो ब्लूमबर्ग नहीं है, मैं क्या करूं इसका. Whatever I'm going to discuss, you all have access to it, and at the end of this I will also share with you some reading material which you can use to kind of get more insight into some of the newer ways of understanding how to deploy the RSI, जिसके बारे में अभी हम बात करेंगे. So good. एक छोटा सा बैकग्राउंड RSI का समझ लेते हैं in the next 1 minute. It is a momentum oscillator. It is the most popular momentum oscillator. And it oscillates between fixed bounds. वो negative नहीं हो सकता, 0 के नीचे नहीं जा सकता, और 100 के ऊपर नहीं जा सकता. क्यों? क्योंकि it is bound by a mathematical formula that does not allow it to go below 0 or above 100. Also ऐसा समझा जाता है कि RSI अगर 70 के ऊपर चला गया तो वो सिक्योरिटी जो है ओवरबॉट हो गई है, और अगर 30 के नीचे चला गया तो वो सिक्योरिटी जो है ओवरसोल्ड हो गई है. एंड आई कैन टेल यू, अगर आप इसी फंडे को यूज करके ट्रेड करोगे तो 1 साल में आपकी दुकान बंद हो जाएगी. ये मैंने अपने एक्सपीरियंस से देखा हुआ है. So there have to be, so it is not to say that the RSI is a bad indicator. I think it is one of the most amazing indicators ever discovered, and we have to thank the person who first brought the RSI into the realm of trading. But what we really have to spend our energies on is to go behind the indicator and understand why it does what it does. अगर आपने ये समझ लिया, वो कोई भी इंडिकेटर, बोलिंजर बैंड हो सकता है, मूविंग एवरेज हो सकता है, कोई भी इंडिकेटर हो सकता है, अगर आपने उसमें डीप डाइव करके उसके बारे में सब कुछ सीख लिया तो आपको पैसे बनाने से कोई नहीं रोक सकता. So let's move on. The other thing that I want to stress on very importantly is that momentum हमेशा प्राइस रिवर्स होने से पहले मोमेंटम आपको हिंट दे देगा कि अब इस अप ट्रेंड या इस डाउन ट्रेंड में गड़बड़ है. सो मोमेंटम ऑलवेज प्रिसीड्स प्राइस एक्शन. इसके बारे में हम बात करेंगे. काफी सारे लोगों को यहाँ पे पता होगा कि ऑन अ प्राइस चार्ट यू कैन स्पॉट डबल टॉप्स, डबल बॉटम्स, ये सारी चीजें RSI पे भी बनती हैं. The next most popular use of the RSI is to spot divergences between price and RSI. इसके बारे में we will discuss. We will talk about positive divergence. We will talk about negative divergence, and we will actually talk about why positive and negative divergences are not, they're nothing more than what should normally happen in the markets. So अगर आप positive और negative divergences को लेकर trade कर रहे हो, then it is nothing special. And I'll tell you why these things are bound to occur basis what the price does and what the RSI does. तो इसके बारे में we will learn quite a few things today. Very good. ये background हमने ले लिया है. अब थोड़ा visual summary ले लेते हैं. तो देखिए ये व्हाइट लाइन जो है वो है RSI, और मैंने वो स्टैंडर्ड थ्रेशोल्ड्स जो है ओवरबॉट और ओवरसोल्ड वो वहां पे डाल दिए हैं. 70 ओवरबॉट, 30 ओवरसोल्ड. ये बहुत ही बढ़िया फंडा है, बट only in one type of market condition, and that is a range bound market. ये सिर्फ range bound market में ही काम करेगा. अप ट्रेंड में काम नहीं करेगा, डाउन ट्रेंड में काम नहीं करेगा. Okay, this is the first thing that you should understand and take away from today's session. Very good. आगे जाते हैं. So now we will discuss about the behavior of the RSI in a bull market. Bull market में it is very normal for the RSI to go above 70. आप सोचो, बुल मार्केट अगर इतना स्ट्रांग है तो फिर 70 का वैल्यू, RSI की मैं बात कर रहा हूं, 70 का वैल्यू क्रॉस करने में उसको बिल्कुल तकलीफ नहीं होनी चाहिए. इट इज द नेचर ऑफ प्राइस इन अ बुल मार्केट to ensure that the RSI goes above 70. So rather than worrying about अच्छा 70 हो गया है, ये स्टॉक क्लियर अप ट्रेंड में है, हायर हाइज और हायर लोस बना रहा है, बट RSI 70 हो गया है, बेच देता हूं, दैट इज अ बैड आइडिया. क्योंकि बुल मार्केट में the RSI can go into the 80-85 zone if it is a very very strong bull market जहां पे ADX भी बहुत हाई है. Then you can expect the RSI to go above 85 also, no problem. Remember the maxima for the RSI is 100. 99 भी जा सकता है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. बट डेफिनेटली जेन्युइन बुल मार्केट में 70 पे तो ओवरबॉट नहीं होगा. दैट इज वन थिंग. बट द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज कभी ना कभी ये मार्केट टॉप करेगा, प्राइस नीचे आएगा और RSI को भी नीचे खींचेगा. इफ दैट डिक्लाइन इन द प्राइस इज ओनली अ करेक्शन बिफोर द नेक्स्ट बुल मार्केट, then the correction in the RSI should not drop between bull market support, which lies in the zone 33 to 40. So the RSI in a bull market will easily reach 80-85, and any correction in the RSI in a bull market will hold 33-40. It will not break 33-40. वहां पे काफी सारा टेक्स्ट है नीचे, ये मैं आपके ऊपर छोड़ देता हूं, but this is the overarching summary which we will use in our examples. Similarly, अगर आप bear market की बात करोगे, it is very normal in a bear market for the RSI to go below 30. It is very normal. और अगर आपको इस बात पे यकीन नहीं है तो आप उस चार्ट को खोलिए जो नेगेटिव गया था. क्रूड ऑयल के चार्ट पे कभी गौर फरमाइएगा सारे लोग, और आप ये देखिए कि ये RSI 30 कब पहुंचा था. उस दिन अगर आप बाय करते तो क्या हाल होता, एंड आई कैन टेल यू बहुत बुरे हाल होते सबके. सो इट इज वेरी नॉर्मल इन अ बेयर मार्केट फॉर द RSI टू ड्रॉप बिलो 30. वो 20 और 25 के जोन में जाएगा, और अगर बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग बेयर मार्केट है तो 20 के नीचे भी जा सकता है. उसका मिनिमम वैल्यू, उसका मिनिमा 0 है, 5 तक भी जा सकता है, नो प्रॉब्लम. दैट इज व्हाट द RSI is supposed to do in a bear market. But every bear market will have a bear market rally. If it is only a bear market rally, then the RSI will have a lot of trouble going past 60-67. That means in a bear market, the RSI will never go to 70. और अगर आप ये सोचोगे कि 70 जब RSI आएगा तब वो ओवरबॉट बनता है, तब मैं बेचूंगा, आप बेयर मार्केट में एक बार भी बेच नहीं पाओगे, बिकॉज वो 70 पहुंचेगा ही नहीं. सिमिलरली अगर मैं प्रीवियस स्लाइड पे बस 1 मिनट के लिए जाता हूं, मैंने क्या कहा कि जब RSI करेक्ट करता है, if it is a bull market correction, it should find support in the 33-40 zone. तो अगर आप ये कहोगे कि देखो यार, मैंने तो टेक्स्ट बुक में पढ़ा था कि RSI तब ओवरसोल्ड होता है जब वो 30 आएगा, तो 30 आने के बाद ही मैं बाय करूंगा, आप पूरे बुल मार्केट में एक भी बार बाय नहीं कर पाओगे, क्योंकि बुल मार्केट में RSI 30 पहुंचता ही नहीं है. So this is what you need to remember about the RSI. So these zones and how the RSI responds when it is within these zones is very very pivotal. अब कुछ examples हम देखेंगे. शुरुआत करते हैं निफ्टी से. तो यहां पे मैंने कुछ जोन्स बनाए हैं. 80-85 रेड जोन है, 60-67 मजेंटा जोन है, 33-40 ग्रीन जोन है, और 20-25 ब्लू जोन है. Now what I want you to focus on is this is about 30 years of data, and we're looking at a monthly chart of the Nifty. आप देखो, every time there has been a correction in the Nifty, बहुत सारे corrections आए हैं, RSI ने bottom कहां बनाया है? In the 33-40 zone, which means अगर आप लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टर हो और आप सोचते हो कि देखो भाई, मैं तो तभी बाय करूंगा जब RSI 30 पे आए, आपने 30 सालों में एक भी बार मंथली चार्ट पे बाय किया ही नहीं. दिस इज अ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट लेसन. in a bull market, and we all know it's a bull market, it's making a series of higher highs and higher lows. In a bull market, the RSI will never come to 30. But क्या वो 70 के ऊपर जा चुका है? बहुत बार जा चुका है. This is very normal in a bull market. एक और एग्जांपल देखते हैं बुल मार्केट का. दिस इज मारुति सुजुकी, 17 साल का चार्ट है. हर करेक्शन को देखिए. यहां पे करेक्शन आया 2003 में, शायद मारुति लिस्ट हुआ 2004 में, जो भी. यहां पे करेक्शन आया. ये दो लोज W बना है. जैसे मैंने कहा प्राइस चार्ट्स पे W बनता है, वैसे RSI के चार्ट पे भी W बनता है. बट ये जो W बना है, ये इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं. ये कहां बना है, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. कहां बना है? ग्रीन जोन में. यानी कि it is taking support on the monthly charts within our understanding of what defines bull market support for the RSI. W बना, easily red zone में चला गया. वापस नीचे आया, bottom कहां बना? ग्रीन जोन में. वापस 85 के भी ऊपर चला गया, वापस नीचे आया. इनफैक्ट ये डिक्लाइन इतनी शॉर्ट लिव्ड थी कि वो ग्रीन जोन में भी नहीं आई. दैट इज बुलिश. वापस ऊपर गया, रेड जोन के ऊपर चला गया, 85 के ऊपर चला गया. दैट्स वेरी नॉर्मल. अभी जब नीचे आया है 10,000 का, ऑलमोस्ट 10,000 उसने शायद मारा नहीं, बट इट केम वेरी वेरी क्लोज टू 10,000. 10,000 का 4,000 हो गया. लेकिन RSI ने अभी तक पिछले 17 सालों में, इंक्लूडिंग द करंट डिक्लाइन, RSI ने 33, उस ग्रीन बैंड को, ऊपरी जो ग्रीन लाइन है वो 40 पे है, निचली जो ग्रीन लाइन है वो 33 है. RSI ने उसको अभी भी नहीं तोड़ा, which means what? Despite the decline on the monthly chart, Maruti Suzuki is still bullish. It is hard to believe it, but the proof is right in front of you. Unless the monthly chart turns bearish, which will happen if the RSI breaks the green zone, there is no reason for you to think it is bearish, क्योंकि चार्ट बेरिश नहीं है. हाँ, वीकली चार्ट पे कहानी कुछ और हो सकती है, बट मंथली चार्ट पे अगर मैं देखूंगा, the RSI is not bearish. Very good. अभी हमने निफ्टी का मंथली चार्ट देखा and we said निफ्टी का मंथली चार्ट is bullish. Now let us come one time frame lower. तो ये वीकली चार्ट. वीकली चार्ट में क्या हुआ है? आप देखो यहाँ पे 2016 में, 2015 में it bottomed out in the green zone. 2016 में it slightly broke the green zone, but the recovery was fast enough to say that this is still a bull market. 2018 की शुरुआत में भी ग्रीन जोन के टॉप लाइन पे उसने सपोर्ट लिया, वापस रेड लाइन के करीब आया, ग्रीन लाइन पे बॉटम किया. अब देखिए पिछले 2 सालों में क्या हुआ. It is really struggling to go beyond the magenta zone. That means something is wrong. You are probably no longer in a bull market. But इस फॉल से वो कंफर्म हो गया है. कैसे हो गया है कंफर्म? As you can see, for the first time in 5 years, the RSI has broken the green zone convincingly. In fact, ये डिक्लाइन इतनी शार्प थी कि उसने ब्लू जोन का जो लोअर ब्लू लाइन है उसको भी तोड़ दिया. अब मैं आपसे एक सवाल करना चाहता हूं. When will the weekly chart turn bullish? The weekly chart will turn bullish only if this RSI is able to go past the magenta zone. अगर ये नहीं हुआ, 3,500 पॉइंट का बाउंस आ गया है 7,511 से. But if the RSI fails in this zone, it means the market is at risk on the weekly chart of experiencing a very, very sharp correction. So remember this, multiple time frame analysis is extremely crucial from a money management perspective. Let's move on. मारुति का हमने देखा मंथली, हमने बोला बुलिश है, बट वीकली को देखते हैं. अब देखो ये जो मैंने वर्टिकल लाइन ड्रॉ की है, दिस इज द फर्स्ट टाइम दैट द RSI ड्रॉप बिलो द ग्रीन जोन, जितनी हिस्ट्री मेरे पास है. Of course, there was a brief drop here as well, but since there was a very quick recovery, I will ignore it. Nonetheless, this is the first time that the RSI has fallen into the blue zone, which means it is now in a full-fledged bear market. Full-fledged bear market में आने के बाद, what should the RSI have done to go back into a bull market? It should have broken convincingly above the magenta zone. But इस recovery के दौरान देखो क्या हुआ है. The RSI has topped out slightly above the magenta zone. I will still consider this a top. And then again, it's gone back into the blue zone. And given where we are, the RSI is nowhere close to the magenta zone. So on the weekly chart, we have the same, interpretation as was the case with the Nifty. The weekly chart of the Nifty was bearish, and the weekly chart of Maruti is also bearish within the understanding that the monthly chart is bullish. तो अब मंथली चार्ट पे मैं बाय करूं, वीकली चार्ट पे मैं सेल करूं, दिस इज अ फंक्शन ऑफ हाउ मच रिस्क एपेटाइट यू हैव। अब एज अ ट्रेडर मैं क्या करूंगा, अगर मैंने यहां पे लोस पे बाय किया है and I see that the weekly chart is bearish, it is now going to be reaching bear market RSI resistance. The moment it reaches there, I will take some profits on my long positions और फिर मैं देखूंगा कि क्या मारुति का RSI उस bear market resistance के ऊपर जा पाता है या नहीं। अगर जाता है तो क्या होगा, मंथली चार्ट ऑलरेडी बुलिश है, वीकली भी बुलिश हो जाएगा and you will have two different time frames aligning with each other. That is when I can take larger positions. But right now, given the disagreement between the monthly and the weekly chart, any weekly, long trade that I have taken, I should look for an opportunity to exit it the moment the RSI comes close to the magenta zone. This is the single biggest takeaway from this chart. Okay, very good. Let's move on. अब बात करते हैं पॉजिटिव और नेगेटिव डिवर्जेंस की। So on the left, I have positive divergence. Think of the white line as price and think of the red line as the RSI. Price ने नया लो बनाया है, RSI ने नया लो नहीं बनाया है. This is positive divergence. What does it mean? Logically, the market should rally. Okay. Similarly, negative divergence को देख लेते हैं. Price ने नया हाई बनाया है, but RSI ने नया हाई नहीं बनाया है, which means going forward, what do you expect the market to do? You expect the market to get into correction mode. So let us look at some real life examples. अब देखो इस पर्टिकुलर स्लाइड में दो पॉजिटिव डिवर्जेंसेस हैं, एक जो चला और एक जो नहीं चला। ओके, सो ये है बजाज फाइनेंस। आप देख रहे हो कि प्राइस नए लो बना रहा था बट आरएसआई नए लो नहीं बना रहा था। एंड व्हाट हैपेंड, द मार्केट हैज रैलीड स्ट्रांगली फ्रॉम 1800 ऑल द वे टू 3300, ऑलमोस्ट 100% जंप। सेकंड केस में क्या हुआ, सो ये पॉजिटिव डिवर्जेंस काम कर गया बजाज फाइनेंस वाला। Second case में you can see that the market has made a new low, RSI has not made a new low, एक बाउंस आया जरूर, बट उसके बाद क्या हुआ, ये जो लो है जहां से वो बाउंस आया था वो भी ब्रेक हो गया। सो इन एडवांस ये बताना बहुत मुश्किल है कि कौन सा पॉजिटिव डिवर्जेंस काम करेगा और कौन सा नहीं करेगा। ओके, नेगेटिव डिवर्जेंस की बात करते हैं। सो व्हाट हैपेंड हियर इज यू कैन सी दैट प्राइसेस आर गोइंग अप, RSI is not able to make new highs, मार्केट काफी गिरा, ऑलमोस्ट 975 से 700 आ गया। वेरी गुड। यहां एग्जैक्टली सेम चीज हुई, द मार्केट मेड अ न्यू हाई when compared to the previous high, but the RSI made a lower high. मार्केट गिरा, बट उसके बाद क्या हुआ, the market broke through that important peak from where the divergence caused the market to fall in the first place. So again, this was negative divergence that worked, this did not work. इन एडवांस ये बताना बहुत मुश्किल है कि कौन सा डिवर्जेंस काम करेगा और कौन सा नहीं करेगा। सो ऑल ऑफ दिस बेसिकली मींस कि डिवर्जेंस आपको क्या कहता है, डिवर्जेंस आपको सिर्फ ये कहता है कि प्राइस और आरएसआई का बिहेवियर अग्रीमेंट में नहीं है। दैट मींस व्हाट, अगर आप पॉजिटिव डिवर्जेंस पे बाय करते हो, दैट इज अ बैड आइडिया। व्हाट यू शुड डू व्हेन यू सी पॉजिटिव डिवर्जेंस इज, इफ यू हैव शॉर्टेड द मार्केट, then it is a good time to cover your short positions. Similarly, when it comes to negative divergence, you should not sell just because there is divergence. What you can do is, if you are already holding a long position in that security, you might want to take some profits on that long position by squaring it up rather than going short. Remember, there is a difference between being long, cutting the long and going short, and not having any position. Remember that. That's very important. There are three kinds of positions: long, short, and no position. And often you will save yourself a lot of trouble and a lot of money simply by having no position. बहुत लोगों को खुजली होती है कि आज मार्केट ऊपर लग रहा है तो मैं कुछ बाय करके जाऊंगा, और आज मार्केट नीचे लग रहा है तो मैं कुछ सेल करके जाऊंगा। ये फंडा इज फाइनेंशियल सुसाइड। डू नॉट डू दिस। वेरी गुड। अब उन डिवर्जेंसेस पे हम फोकस करते हैं जो एक्चुअली चलते हैं। दोज आर कॉल्ड हिडन डिवर्जेंसेस। अब पहले हम पॉजिटिव हिडन डिवर्जेंस को समझते हैं, एंड देन वी विल लर्न अबाउट हिडन नेगेटिव डिवर्जेंस। सो लेट अस टॉक अबाउट हिडन पॉजिटिव डिवर्जेंस फर्स्ट। द फंडा इज वेरी सिंपल। प्राइस डज नॉट मेक अ न्यू लो, price does not make a new low, but RSI makes a new low. In other words, the RSI becomes more oversold. This is called hidden positive divergence. It only occurs in a bull market. And what is the definition of a bull market? A market that is making a series of higher highs and higher lows. Similarly, let us look at hidden negative divergence. Price has not made a new high, but RSI has made a new high. In other words, the RSI has become more overbought. This occurs only in a bear market. And what should you be doing in a bear market? You should not look to buy, you should look to sell. So let us look at some examples. ये है ACC का चार्ट 2011 out to 2017. Hidden positive divergence की बात कर रहा हूं मैं. You can see here the market did not make a new low, but the RSI made a new low. The failure of the market to not make a new low compared to its previous low is a sign of strength. So you buy strength and you see what happened. The market rose to make a new high. Similarly, price does not make a new low, RSI makes a lower low, see what happened, and you've actually gone beyond the previous high. This is hidden positive divergence. It is the exact opposite of regular positive divergence. Very good. This is Colgate, 2017 to 2020 weekly chart. Look at this beauty. There are back-to-back hidden positive divergences. First divergence, market does not make a new low, RSI makes a new low, buy. Second hidden positive divergence, market does not make a new low, RSI makes a lower low, buy. Third hidden positive divergence, market does not make a new low, RSI makes a new low, buy. Every single time the market has gone to make a new high. This is divergence that actually works. Hidden negative divergence, example number 1, Tata Steel 2015 to 2020. Market recovers and recovers pretty well from this double bottom, but it does not go past the prior high. At the same time, the RSI makes a higher high. This only occurs in a bear market. And what should you do in a bear market? You should sell. And as you can see, Tata Steel went on to break the double bottom lows. Exactly the opposite of hidden positive divergence. Next example, Bharat Forge, weekly chart, 2014 to 2020. Bharat Forge ने already यहाँ पे top बना लिया है. Market already bear market में है. If you look at these two highs, the market does not make a new high. RSI makes a higher high. Bearish. Market falls again, breaks the previous low, falls, recovers. The recovery is not able to take out the previous high, but at the same time, the RSI makes a new high, sell, and you can see what has happened. Now, I want to pause here and I want to tell you, there is this book written by John Hayden, John John, space Hayden, Hayden, John Hayden. He has gone into, the minutest of details in explaining this new approach to using the RSI. इसमें बहुत सारे और भी फंडे हैं, but this is a good starting point. अगर आप traditional RSI को use करते थे, जैसे आपके बाकी के मित्र करते हैं, तो उस thought को abandon कर दीजिए और एक नई शुरुआत कीजिए with the application of RSI. You will definitely see a difference in the amount of money that you make. Very good. अब एक और चीज जो मैं यहाँ पे आखिरी मेरी स्लाइड है RSI पे, हिडन पॉजिटिव डिवर्जेंस एंड हिडन नेगेटिव डिवर्जेंस जब आप करते हो, यू कैन एक्चुअली यूज द RSI टू कैलकुलेट प्राइस टारगेट्स. वो कैसे करते हैं? तो हिडन पॉजिटिव डिवर्जेंस को लेकर टारगेट्स कैसे डिटरमिन किए जाएं, ये हम अभी सीखते हैं. बहुत ही सिंपल है, टेक्स्ट वहां पे है, उस पर मैं ज्यादा ध्यान नहीं दूंगा. आई विल टेल यू विजुअली कैसे कैलकुलेट करते हैं. सो दिस इज हिडन पॉजिटिव डिवर्जेंस. क्यों? प्राइस ने नया लो नहीं बनाया है, RSI ने नया लो बनाया है. अब मुझे लगता है ये बुलिश है. अगर बुलिश है तो मैं बाय करना चाहता हूं. अगर मैं बाय करना चाहता हूं तो दो चीजें मुझे पता होनी चाहिए, मेरा स्टॉप लॉस क्या है और मेरा टारगेट क्या है. पहले मैं स्टॉप लॉस की बात करता हूं. स्टॉप लॉस आपका प्रीवियस लो होना चाहिए. चलो स्टॉप लॉस हो गया. टारगेट क्या है? टारगेट का कैलकुलेशन बहुत ही सिंपल है. इस वाले दिन जो क्लोज था उसको नोट कर लीजिए, प्रीवियस लो वाले दिन जो क्लोज था उसको नोट कर लीजिए. इस क्लोज को और इस क्लोज को लेकर इनका डिफरेंस ले लीजिए. तो अज्यूम करते हैं इस दिन क्लोज था 80, इस दिन क्लोज था 100, तो द डिफरेंस इज 100 लेस 80 व्हिच इज 20. इस 20 को नोट डाउन कर लीजिए. देन यू गो टू द RSI एंड यू सी कि जिस दिन RSI ने अपना हाई बनाया इन दो लोस के बीच में, उस दिन का क्लोज कितना था. तो अज्यूम करते हैं वो क्लोज था 140. तो आप क्या करो, ये वाला जो क्लोज है 140, उसको ये जो डिफरेंस आपने स्टेप 1 में कैलकुलेट किया था 100 माइनस 80 वाला जो 20 था, उसको ऐड कर दो तो आपका टारगेट बन जाता है 140 प्लस 20 160 और आपका स्टॉप लॉस बन जाता है 80 के नीचे। सिंपल। और यही फंडा आपको यूज करना है हिडन नेगेटिव डिवर्जेंस का टारगेट फाइंड आउट करने में, बट द टारगेट विल बी डिटरमिन्ड ऑन द डाउन साइड, क्योंकि ये बेरिश सिग्नल है। सिंपल है। 1 मिनट में बता देता हूं। इस वाले दिन का क्लोज आप नोट कर लीजिए, इस वाले दिन का भी कर लीजिए। लेट अस से दिस इज 100, दिस इज 80, डिफरेंस बना 20। फिर आप आरएसआई के पैनल पे जाइए और देखिए कि जिस दिन इन दो आरएसआई के हाइस के बीच में जो लो बना, उस दिन का क्लोज क्या था। तो अज्यूम करते हैं वो 60 था। यहाँ पे डिफरेंस आप ऑलरेडी कैलकुलेट कर चुके हो, वो डिफरेंस है 20। इस 60 में से वो 20 माइनस कर लीजिए तो आपका टारगेट बन जाता है 40। सिंपल। एक और चीज बिफोर वी मूव ऑन, you should take the trade, whether you're trading on the back of a hidden positive divergence or trading short on the back of a hidden negative divergence. Take that trade only if the reward to risk is at least 2:1. And the beauty of this pattern is वो reward to risk ratio कितना होना चाहिए वो तो आपको ट्रेड लेने से पहले ही पता चल जाएगा, क्योंकि आपको स्टॉप लॉस भी पता है, आपको टारगेट भी पता है। तो अगर वो 2:1 मिनिमम है, उस ट्रेड को लेना बनता है। एक्सेलेंट। आज के टॉपिक का डिस्कशन है मार्केट क्या लगता है। तो ये चार्ट जो है और जो हमने अभी तक डिस्कस किया है, ये जो मैंने कुछ ब्लैक लाइंस ड्रॉ किए हैं प्राइस पैनल पे और आरएसआई पैनल पे, यही आपको बता देंगे कि मार्केट क्या लगता है। तो देखिए यहां पे मंथली चार्ट पे हिडन पॉजिटिव डिवर्जेंस बन रहा है, क्योंकि प्राइस ने नया लो नहीं बनाया है बट आरएसआई ने नया लो बनाया है। और आपको पता है कि टारगेट कैसे कैलकुलेट करना है, मैं नहीं बताऊंगा, मैं सिर्फ आपको गाइडेंस दूंगा। वो गाइडेंस ये है कि इस वाले बार का क्लोज ले लीजिए, इस वाले बार का क्लोज ले लीजिए, इन दोनों क्लोजिंग प्राइसेस का डिफरेंस लेकर जो हाईएस्ट पॉइंट था आरएसआई का जो यहां पे था, उस वाले बार का आप क्लोज देखिए और ये जो डिफरेंस है उस क्लोज को ऐड कर दीजिए, वो आपका टारगेट रहेगा। बट फॉर दैट टू हैपन, जो ये वाला लो है which is roughly 68.25, वो ब्रेक नहीं होना चाहिए। whether it is tradable or not, I don't know, because the market has already rallied 3,500 points. But as of now, the appearance of this hidden positive divergence on the monthly chart basically brings us back to the same conclusion that on the monthly chart, the Nifty is still bullish. Very good. नाउ द फाइनल पार्ट, जहां पे हम ब्लूमबर्ग के कुछ स्क्रीन्स देखेंगे। बहुत सारे लोग ओवरबॉट और ओवरसोल्ड के उनके अलग अलग फंडे होते हैं, तो उन फंडों को थोड़ा हम वी विल बस्ट दोज मिथ्स एंड वी विल शो यू हाउ यू कैन क्वांटिफाई अ सर्टेन थिंग दैट यू बिलीव इन। ओके, एंड दिस विल टेक अनदर 5-10 minutes and then we are done. So Yash, everyone with me? I hope nobody has fallen asleep.
No, I think everyone is there and everyone is enjoying learning. बहुत ज़्यादा मजा आ रहा है. I think the crowd, like you can answer already. I've got so many responses on the chat box. आपको दिख रहे होंगे. And on Facebook also we have a lot of people still live at 10:30 and they're watching you. So I think it's amazing presentation, amazing session. बहुत कुछ मुझे भी सीखने मिल रहा है अभी तक. And I think a lot of the audience learning. And the process, the way you are explaining, I think that is amazing. मतलब इतना simple तरीके से आप बता रहे हैं ना, इतना humble तरीके से, that is amazing.
Thank you, Yash. So let us then dive straight into part 3. Now, let us go really slowly here. This is something that fascinates me. So देखो अभी, of course, everybody knows कि US markets के भी क्या हाल थे in the middle of March. But 26 May, sorry. So on the 26th of May 2020 एक बहुत ही जबरदस्त सिग्नल जनरेट हुआ S&P 500 पे, and everyone knows कि अगर equities की दुनिया की बात करें, the S&P 500 is a global benchmark. There are a lot of ETFs tracking the SPX. It is the bellwether stock market for the world. So 26th May 2020 को क्या हुआ? The percentage of members in the S&P 500. S&P 500 में कितने members हैं? 500 members हैं. The percentage of members in the S&P 500 trading above their 50-day simple moving average. ये जो number था ना, it went past 90%. And this happened for the first time in 12 months. पहली बार 12 महीनों के बाद पहली बार ये घटा था, where 90 80+% of the members in the S&P 500 on that day were trading above their 50-day averages. Ab one of the things you can therefore do on Bloomberg is आप ये कर सकते हो कि हिस्टोरिकली ये चार्ट पे कितनी बार हुआ है, ये आप पहले बैक टेस्ट कर सकते हो. एंड देन व्हाट यू कैन आल्सो डू इज आप यू कैन आस्क ब्लूमबर्ग द क्वेश्चन कि अगर हर बार जब ये बना, अगर मैंने लॉन्ग किया होता तो 3 महीने बाद S&P 500 अगर मैंने ट्रेड किया होता, अगर लॉन्ग किया होता तो 3 महीने बाद क्या मैं पैसे बनाता या घटाता या गवाता, ये आप ब्लूमबर्ग पे टेस्ट कर सकते हो. सो आई विल शो यू कि हिस्टोरिकली इस पर्टिकुलर सिग्नल ने किस तरीके के 3 मंथ रिटर्न्स दिए हैं. सो लेट अस गो इनटू दैट. अब यहाँ पे बहुत सारी चीजें हैं. ये पहला ऐसा एक ब्लूमबर्ग का चार्ट है जिसमें काफी सारे नंबर्स हैं, तो आई विल गो स्लो बिकॉज वंस यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस, बाकी के आगे के जो 3 चार्ट्स हैं वो बहुत सिंपल हो जाएंगे. सो दिस इज, लेट मी एक्सप्लेन द इनपुट्स. सिक्योरिटी कौन सी है? SPX है. SPX इज द ब्लूमबर्ग टिकर फॉर द S&P 500. 20 इयर्स का मैं डेटा ले रहा हूं. 20 years is a long enough period for back testing purposes. और मैंने कहा कि देखो इस सिग्नल का मैं 3 month forward return टेस्ट करना चाहता हूं. 3 month forward return मैं टेस्ट करना चाहता हूं. Therefore, this impact window is set to 60 days because 60 days is roughly 3 trading months. अगर हम सोच के चले तो. Now let me explain the chart. यहाँ पे 2 panels हैं. On the top panel you have the daily chart of the SPX 500, the S&P 500. On the bottom chart, you see 3 lines. एक तो white line है जो काफी volatile है. That line measures the percentage of S&P 500 members trading above their 50-day simple moving average. Again, वो percentage number है. इसका मतलब ना वो 100% के ऊपर जा सकता है, ना वो 0% के नीचे जा सकता है. So we can use it like an oscillator. और वहां पे जैसे RSI में मैंने बोला कि 70-30, sideways markets में थ्रेशोल्ड्स होते हैं. यहां पे मैंने कुछ सेल्फ डिफाइंड थ्रेशोल्ड्स मैंने लिए हैं, 90 और 10. अब मैं क्या करना चाहता हूं, मैं आई वांट टू बाय द S&P 500 एवरी टाइम द व्हाइट लाइन गोस अबाउट द रेड लाइन. और वो रेड लाइन कहां पे है? वो 90 पे है. और ये जो ग्रीन आइकॉन्स जो आपको चार्ट पे दिख रहे हैं, द कोड हैज बीन रिटन इन सच अ वे दैट मुझे मैन्युअली ये देखने की जरूरत नहीं है कि व्हाइट लाइन कब कब रेड लाइन के ऊपर गई है. The moment you see a green icon, it means on that day, the percentage of members in the S&P 500 trading above the 50-day average went above the red threshold at 90. तो अब ये हमने समझ लिया. Now let us look at what has happened historically. Historically, पिछले 20 सालों में अगर हम डेली चार्ट की बात करें, तो पिछले 20 सालों में ये जो सिग्नल है ये 31 बार बना है. 31 times in the last 20 years. And what is really amazing is, in 27 out of 31 cases, the S&P 500 was higher 3 months after the signal, which is stunning. In 2 out of 31 cases, the S&P 500 was lower 3 months after the signal. 27 times it was higher. अब आप सोचोगे कि 27 बार मार्केट ऊपर था 3 महीने बाद, 2 बार मार्केट नीचे था सिग्नल के बाद, तो 27 plus 2 is 29, but total number of signals 31 है, तो बाकी के 2 कहां चले गए? Those 2 signals occurred very recently. और वो सिग्नल्स आने के बाद 60 दिन बीते नहीं है, इसीलिए उन सिग्नल्स का परफॉर्मेंस अभी तक कैलकुलेट इस एल्गोरिथम ने किया नहीं है. बट नोटिस वन थिंग, 27 out of 31 times the S&P 500 was higher 3 months later. और क्या प्रूफ चाहिए कि when the market becomes overbought, it is not a sign of weakness, it is actually a sign of strength. And what should you do with strength? You should not sell strength, you should buy strength. ये हमने आज quantitatively prove कर दिया है. Another thing is, on average, how much percent was the S&P 500 higher 3 months out? On average, it was higher by 4%, जो S&P 500 के लिए बहुत बड़ी बात है. And I have looked at a history of 20 years. So this is, in a way, a history that's considered 2 bear markets. 2000 से 2003 में जो बेयर मार्केट हुआ सितंबर 2001 के अटैक्स के बाद, 2008 2009 में जो बेयर मार्केट हुआ उसको भी मैं कंसिडर कर रहा हूं, मैं सारे बेयर मार्केट्स को कंसिडर कर रहा हूं, बट दैट विन परसेंटेज 27 out of 31 still is extremely high and very very significant. एक और चीज देखो, अगर आप ये फंडा यूज करते हो तो आपने 2000-2003 का बेयर मार्केट पूरी तरह से अवॉइड कर लिया, आपने 2008-2009 का बेयर मार्केट पूरी तरह से अवॉइड कर लिया, क्योंकि ये जो इंडिकेटर है इट जनरेट्स अ बाय सिग्नल ओनली इन बुल मार्केट्स, क्योंकि बुल मार्केट जब होता है तभी ये व्हाइट लाइन 90 के ऊपर जाती है, बेयर मार्केट में ये व्हाइट लाइन कभी 90 के ऊपर जाती ही नहीं है, व्हिच मींस आप बेयर मार्केट में कभी बाय करोगे ही नहीं. ओके, नाउ लेट अस मूव क्लोजर होम. इस चार्ट को मैं इग्नोर करूंगा, यू कैन, बिकॉज आई एम गोइंग टू शेयर द स्लाइड, आप लोग आराम से देख लेना, बट आई विल कम टू द निफ्टी. अब ये देखो निफ्टी 20 साल का चार्ट है, डेली चार्ट है, इंपैक्ट विंडो वही है 60 डेज व्हिच इक्वल्स 3 months, और नीचे का जो इंडिकेटर है वही है. हम पहले इसको S&P 500 पे लगा रहे थे, अब निफ्टी पे लगा रहे हैं. There have been a total of 64 signals on the Nifty. S&P 500 से काफी ज्यादा, in fact double. 48 out of 64 signals were winning trades, 75%. It is not as high as the S&P 500, but it is still 75%, which to me, for all practical purposes, is pretty high. 75% out of 100%. So 48 gainers, 14 losers, but look at the average return. Average return is 9.29%. इस एवरेज रिटर्न का फॉर्मूला क्या है? जितने भी सिग्नल्स आपने लिए, कुछ सिग्नल्स में प्रॉफिट बना, कुछ सिग्नल्स में लॉस बना, आपने हर सिग्नल का प्रॉफिट लॉस इंक्लूड करके एक रिटर्न बनाया, और उस रिटर्न को आपने टोटल नंबर ऑफ सिग्नल से डिवाइड कर दिया. दैट इज द एवरेज रिटर्न. इट इज 9.29%, which is extremely high. So on average, if you bought the Nifty every time the white line went above 90, on average you've made 9.29%. Ab, again, what is the conclusion? The conclusion is that overbought is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of strength. And because it's a sign of strength, you should therefore be looking to buy strength rather than sell strength. So this is another chart of the Nifty, which again I will recommend because of the lack of time that you guys look at your own. But I will quickly tell you कि इस chart में फंडा क्या है. यहाँ पे we are saying I will buy when the white line goes above 90. Here I'm saying when the white line crosses above a very very oversold level. तो मैं oversold situation में यहाँ पे buy कर रहा हूँ, और पिछले सिचुएशन में ओवरबॉट सिचुएशन में बाय कर रहा हूं. एंड यू नोटिस ओवरबॉट सिचुएशन में जब मैंने बाय किया तो मेरा एवरेज रिटर्न था 9.29%. ओवरसोल्ड सिचुएशन में जब मैंने बाय किया तो देखो रिटर्न कितना बनता है. इट फॉल्स फ्रॉम 9.3% ऑल द वे टू 3.6%. दिस मस्ट बी एन आई ओपनर फॉर मोस्ट ऑफ यू. लोग क्या सोचते हैं कि मार्केट जब गिरता है ना तब खरीदना चाहिए, ऐसा नहीं है. स्ट्रॉन्ग स्टॉक्स आर स्ट्रॉन्ग स्टॉक्स फॉर अ रीजन. They don't correct so much for a reason, which means the conclusion remains the same. You should be looking to buy strength rather than weakness. So this is what I wanted to cover from a Bloomberg standpoint. ये सब चीजें आप Bloomberg पे बहुत easily कर सकते हो. And the last thing is a bonus chart before we call it a day, or rather call it a night. ये है मारुति, और मारुति का मैंने क्वार्टरली चार्ट बनाया है ओवर द लास्ट 17 years एंडिंग टुडे. ये लॉगरिथमिक चार्ट है. लॉगरिथमिक चार्ट यानी कि मैं वाई एक्सिस पे परसेंटेज चेंजेस कैप्चर कर रहा हूं, अरिथमेटिक चेंजेस कैप्चर नहीं कर रहा हूं. एंड यू कैन सी दैट मारुति ओवर द लास्ट 17 years has been moving in a beautiful upper trending channel, correct? Also, there is something very peculiar about the time factor when it comes to Maruti. Every 18 quarters, and you can see वहां पे मैंने नीचे कुछ semicircles draw किए हैं, they are cycles. So every 18 quarters, Maruti either makes a high, quarterly high, or a quarterly low. तो यहां से शुरुआत करते हैं 2003 सितंबर से। इसमें कोई बड़ा मैजिक नहीं है, मैंने सिर्फ ये लो और नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट हाई लिया है। सो दिस इज वर्थ 17+1 क्वार्टर्स, यानी कि अगर आप मैन्युअली कैंडल्स को काउंट करोगे तो देयर विल बी 18 कैंडल्स। नाउ 18 quarters from this high was the next major low. 18 quarters from this low was not the exact high, but it was the end of the correction and the appearance of a quarterly bullish candle. And you can see वहां से फिर वो 10,000 तक गया। 10,000 उसने मारा नहीं, शायद 10,000 से पहले वो टॉप आउट कर गया। Now 18 quarters from that particular low is the quarter ending September 2020, और वहां पे जो मैंने ग्रीन लाइंस ड्रॉ किए हैं, they are all 61.8% Fibonacci levels that have been drawn by considering different swings, and you can see that सारे lines एक दूसरे के बहुत करीब आ रहे हैं, which means this particular zone defined by those horizontal lines and this quarterly cycle coming due in September 2020 and the lower end of this channel, everything is coming together in this area. यानी कि क्या है, this is not a recommendation. बोलने का मतलब ये है कि if Maruti is able to hold this area because it's already declined, nearly 60% from the high to the low, this is a great area to be accumulating Maruti. But that also comes with the warning that if Maruti is not able to, remember on the monthly chart, Maruti is bullish. On the weekly chart, it is bearish. If the weekly chart continues to deteriorate, क्या होगा? It will force the monthly chart, which is currently bullish, to turn bearish. अगर वो हुआ, and if Maruti drops below this green zone, तो फिर पता नहीं क्या होगा. But as of now, on the quarterly chart, the current quarter, which ends in September, is absolutely crucial for Maruti. And as a bull, I would ideally like for that green zone to hold. अगर वो hold करता है, then I don't need to tell you कि Maruti कहाँ जा सकता है. You can interpret that for yourself. But that is all that I wanted to share with you. ये मेरा Twitter handle है. This is my LinkedIn account. Feel free to reach out to me. अगर आपके पास कुछ सवाल अभी हैं, then I will take them now. But it has been such a pleasure talking to all of you, and many apologies for overshooting the time limit. I guess the excitement factor for me was also too high. Thank you so much for doing this on a Sunday evening. And like I said, if you have questions, send them into me now. That's it. Yash, take it away.
Perfect, sir. Perfect. Before we go to the question, I have to say something. Bhaiya, just can you close your screen so that we can see you better?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
So I think it is one of the best session I have ever attended as a attendee, of course, because the way you have explained the things, the easier way, in such a way where a layman can understand. I think all our audience has liked it a lot. Even I also learned a lot of things in such an easy way, जो आपने layman भी समझ सकता है, and in such a humble way you've explained. Thank you so much for explaining it in such a way. I think a lot of people are already commenting, and already we have 81 people on Zoom till now at 10:45 on a Sunday night. That itself speaks how your presentation was. I don't have to tell anything else. So I think a plethora of questions were already there were people who were asking while you were presenting.
Is it possible, Yash, for you to kind of collate all of these questions and send them to me? I'll try to respond to every single question. No problem.
Definitely, because actually I was going through the questions. One question which I first of all, a lot of people were asking on will you be sharing the presentation, because
yes.
So I think we'll be sharing it, right? Well, of course not everything on the, but जो content important है audience.
बिल्कुल करेंगे.
Great. So again, such a humble gesture. He will be definitely sharing a presentation. एक क्वेश्चन सब ये पूछ रहे थे कि जो आपने पहले 4 strategies बताई थी on the bar chart. So is there any way to put the target on this? I think a lot of people were asking that.
No, so that is a good question. I mean, look, these patterns weren't designed to tell you where or how high or how low the market was going to go. These patterns are only supposed to tell you that the prevailing trend may be at the risk of reversing. Now, in my personal experience, what I have found is that simple Fibonacci retracements and Fibonacci projections and Fibonacci extensions can be used to derive targets. But the patterns by themselves aren't telling you where the market is going to go if you buy, or where it's going to go if you sell into the market. So, I mean, the only takeaway from those patterns, and something that I completely understand, given why those patterns were built, were to tell you that if you are someone who's a trend follower, who thinks that the trend is your friend, then these patterns, when they appear on the chart, will tell you it is too late for you to participate in that trend now, because a reversal might be around the corner. But like I said, and I will repeat, these patterns have no way of telling you how high the market is going to go if you buy, or how low the market is going to go if you sell. So use them only as two things. One, a reversal may be around the corner, and second, if I do decide to trade the prevailing trend, trade against the prevailing trend, then what is my stop loss? These are the only two answers that these patterns provide.
Perfect. I think that makes it clear to everyone. One thing again, a lot of people were asking on the book जो आपने recommend किया था. So you told the writer's name. वो book का नाम क्या है, so that everyone can see that.
यार book का नाम तो मुझे भी नहीं याद आ रहा. That is probably the Sunday 10:45 PM effect. But author का नाम है John Hayden. तो आप Google कर लोगे John Hayden RSI, आपको मिल जाएगा.
Perfect. I think that everyone can Google it. One last question definitely we'll take that people were asking RSI, जैसे आपने बताया higher time frame, multiple time frames के बारे में. So if the monthly is bullish and the weekly is bearish, so how should we trade that? Like how should we pull the assumption? Because एक time frame bullish है, एक time frame bearish है. I think a lot of people had this question. Even I had this question. So I thought it's better.
The simple answer to that is ensure that you have at least 2 time frames in agreement. So if the monthly is bullish and the weekly is bearish, wait for the weekly to turn bullish so that it starts aligning with the monthly. So both become bullish. Or you wait for the market to accelerate on the downside on the weekly, so that the weekly price action then forces the longer time frame to turn bearish. So wait for 2 time frames to agree with each other. That is when the best alpha is discovered. वरना आप bearish, suppose weekly chart bullish है, आपने buy कर लिया, but आपको ये पता नहीं कि monthly chart bearish है. Suddenly आप देखोगे कि सब कुछ ठीक था, इंडिकेटर भी ठीक ही बता रहा था, मार्केट ऊपर गया, या आपके बाय करने के बाद मार्केट थोड़ा ऊपर गया और उसके बाद 10% गिर गया. क्यों? Because the longer time frame which was bearish was acting on the shorter time frame which was bearish. वैसे.
Perfect. I think that was a perfect answer. So actually we are running out of time. I know a lot of people are asking questions on Facebook as well. But again, Akshay has mentioned his Twitter handle and his LinkedIn handle. You can of course share your questions to us. We'll definitely forward it to him. So first of all, thank you so much, Akshay Bhaiya, for sharing such a beautiful presentation, such a beautiful way. There was a lot of learnings for us. Even I also learned a lot of things. इतना humble way ने आपने बताया सब कुछ. So some closing words we want to hear from you before I close it down, because already we are 10:47 and काफी लोगों की wives और बच्चे लोग मुझे डांटने वाले, मुझे गाली.
बिल्कुल. So in advance, let me apologize to everyone, but on a closing note.
No, you don't have to. मतलब.
On a closing note, and I do this every single time I'm asked to end any session, and that is it's easier to say this than actually doing it. But many people make this mistake of trading basis their biases. If you are bullish, you will find a reason to say that a bearish chart is bullish. If you are bearish, you will find a reason to look at a bullish chart and say that it is bearish. Please trade what you see rather than what you want to see. जब आप खुद के पैसे मार्केट में डालोगे, always start with the assumption कि आपका पैसा इस ट्रेड में जाना ही है, और इसको ना जाने के लिए आपको क्या-क्या करना चाहिए. If you tell yourself that yes, I will go with the assumption that I'm going to lose money on this trade, but then you say that is there anything that I can do so that this trade makes me money, only then will you put in the hard work that is needed to kind of go behind the obvious and look at what goes behind the scenes. तो ये बहुत जरूरी है. Please trade what you see. I will repeat it. Please trade what you see. Abandon your biases. Do not trade what you want to see. This is my final remark.
Perfect. I think इससे अच्छा remark हो ही नहीं सकता. It was like it's a great learning. And Akshay, let me tell you this कि on Facebook, on Zoom, सबसे बड़ा क्वेश्चन जो मेरे पास ये है, सबसे बड़ा सजेशन जो है that they all want you to come back again and speak on some other topic, maybe Bollinger Band or Ichimoku. So I'm requesting, मैं अभी आपसे pledge ले रहा हूँ कि you are coming back again and speaking, not maybe next week, next to next, but definitely in this year 2020 before Maruti has its quarter closing.
Surely, it is my honor, it is my privilege to kind of do this with all of you. Thank you so much, everyone, and apologies to your families for keeping you in front of your phones, your tablets, your computers. Let us try to not overrun the time limits the next time I meet you. But thank you very much, and stay safe and take care, everyone. All the best.
Okay, so thank you so much, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed the session. You all learned something new. You are taking some great takeaways. It was a great takeaway for me. I have learned a lot of things from such a beautiful, humble person who has shared his presentation in such a beautiful way. Please share your feedbacks with us. Please share your comments and on Twitter, on other social media handles, so that we learn. If you all want us to improve, if you all want Akshay to come again, definitely, as he has already pledged, he will definitely come again and he will share much more knowledge, because again his experience is undoubtable. बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छा experience है. बहुत humble way में वो पढ़ाते हैं, and even I've learned a lot of things to be honest today. So please share your feedback. Please share your love. And secondly, please be safe. COVID-19 cases are increasing in India. Please stay at home.
Absolutely.
Try to be as safe as possible, because it is very important, because jaan hai to jahan hai, as we tell. So definitely please stay at home. And definitely next week we'll have another great speaker with you all, who will be sharing the knowledge with you all, sharing the wisdom. And our main motto again is to bring behind such great speakers like Akshay is to definitely enlighten you on technicals, on psychology, on risk management, on different things of the market, so that you can become a self-dependent trader. As Akshay again has told, that it is you who has to research, and it is you who has to become a self-independent trader. So it is very important. And once again, thank you so much, Akshay, for this great webinar. I'm awaiting the next one eagerly, and I hope the audience is awaiting as well. And with this, I like to close down the webinar. Please stay safe, stay at home. Thank you so much. And next Sunday, see you at the same time, 9 p.m. Signing off, Yash Dugar. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Take care, everyone. Bye.